All right, guys, so let's continue on with the Bible. We are on Numbers 33. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord. And these are their journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramses. They departed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. They went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians, for the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them. So interesting. Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgments, and the children of Israel removed from Ramses and pitched in Succoth. So it's interesting that the Bible has that detail that the Egyptians buried all their firstborn. I just find that to be interesting. Went out with a high hand. They went for Ramses and Succoth, and they departed from Succoth and pitched in Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. And they removed from Etham and turned again into Pi Hahiroth, which is before Baal Zephon, and they pitched before Migdol. And they departed from before Pi Hahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness and went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and pitched in Marah, and removed from Marah and came into Elim, and in Elim were 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees, and they pitched there, and they removed from Elim and encamped by the Red Sea. And they removed from the Red Sea and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin and encamped in Dovka. And they departed from Dovka and encamped in Alush. And they removed from Alush and encamped at Rephidim, and where was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai. And they removed from the desert of Sinai and pitched at Kibroth Hattava. And they departed from Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. And they departed from Hazeroth and pitched in Ritmah. They departed from Ritmah and pitched at Ramon Perez. And they departed from Ramon Perez and pitched in Libnah. And they removed from Libnah and pitched in Rissa. And they journeyed from Rissa and pitched in Kehelatah. And they went from Kehelatah and pitched in Mount Shapher. And they moved from Mount Shapher and encamped in Haradah. And they moved from Haradah and pitched in Maklahath. And moved from Maklahath and encamped in Tahath. And they departed from Tahath and pitched at Terah. And then moved from Terah and pitched in Mitka. And they went from Mitka and pitched in Hashmanah. And they departed from Hashmanah and camped at Moseroth. And they departed from Moseroth and pitched in Ben Jakan. And then moved from Ben Jakan and encamped at Hor-Haggidgad. And they went from Hor-Haggidgad and pitched in Jotbathah. And then moved from Jotbathah and encamped at Ebronah. Departed from Ebronah and encamped at Hezion Geber. And moved from Hezion Geber and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. Wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. Mount Hor, edge of the land of Edom. Mount Hor, edge of the land of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of the Lord and died there. In the 40th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the first day of the first month. Aaron's death 40 years after. Let me write that down. Use a different pen. Aaron's death 40 years after leaving Egypt. Put an arrow. Aaron died there. He went up into the Mount Hor, blah, blah. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. Aaron, 123 years old. And King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. And they departed from Mount Hor and pitched in Zalmanah. And they departed from Zalmanah and pitched in Punan. And they departed from Punan and pitched in Oboth. And they departed from Oboth and pitched in Ej Abarim, in the border of Moab. And they departed from Im and pitched in Dibon-gad. And they removed from Dibon-gad and encamped in Almon Diblathaim. They removed from Almon Diblathaim and pitched in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Abarim and pitched in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. And they pitched by Jordan from Beth Jesimoth even unto Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And the Lord spoke unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. The Lord spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye are passed over Jordan in the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. Molten images and all their pictures. And ye shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it, and ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families. And to the more ye shall give the more inheritance, and to the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance. Every man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falleth, according to the tribes of your fathers ye shall inherit. But if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes, and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein ye dwell. I wonder if they believe in this, when the Jews, and even God says, Moreover, it shall come to pass that I do unto you as I thought to do unto them. Like, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to do to you what I wanted you to do to them. Just find that interesting. I wonder if some of the Jews in Israel, the Israelis, go to this type of scripture and rely on it, for strength in war, or maybe even justification or entitlement to their land as a people, But if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, those which you let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes. It's kind of like some crazy. I see some crazy videos on the internet of like these immigrants, killing cats and animals, dude, and eating them, and they're obviously probably starving and things like that, things that we don't really do in our country. That just seems very interesting. Peace.